All right. So, October last month, I ran my first half marathon. And I gotta say, it was a pretty good experience overall. First time running a marathon. I've ran a couple 5Ks before, but this is the first time I really pushed myself and I was really committed to training. I trained for about 3 months and I thought I'd share my seven takeaways for training for a half marathon. So the first one, and probably one of the more important components, is your diet. Diet is very important because it's what fuels you during the race and it's what helps you recover after your training. So, my diet was pretty straightforward. It was very simple. I didn't do anything out of the norm. Basically, my diet consisted, if it was in mornings, I ate oatmeal with some sort of fruit. Apples, kiwis, bananas, because during your training, your body's going to need that energy. And it's going to need the sugars, it's going to need salts, and it's going to need water. So you have to consider to also drink a liter of water before you run, because your body will ask for water and you will be struggling if you don't have enough water in your system. So very important to keep that in mind. For dinner, also pretty much the same thing. Rice crackers, avocados, also some variety of fruit, which was apples, kiwis. Also, I like to eat nuts. It's good source of protein. Fills you up, doesn't make you feel heavy. What else? Oh, fruit with sea salt and a little lemon. Good stuff. Can't recommend it enough. That was really good after workouts because it replenishes all the sugars that you lost, all the salts that you lost. So it's really going to help you with recovery. It's going to make you, or at least it made me feel less hangry after the workouts. And make sure to drink plenty of water. Pro tip is to drink coffee. I wasn't much of a believer in how helpful coffee could be as a supplement, as a, what is it called, like a pre-workout type of thing. But then when I started taking it and I found the sweet spot for when my period of drinking coffee was best, man, it was some pretty good training sessions. My endurance was, I don't know, I'd say 30 to 40% better. Times that I'd normally find myself winded or tired, I was still running strong. So I recommend coffee, although not too soon to your training, because coffee it does have laxative properties. So I wouldn't recommend taking a dump before you go running, because it's gonna bother you. So figure out what your sweet spot is with coffee. That is, if you want to take it as a pre-workout, and you'll see the benefits for it. Next, training. My training pretty much consisted of 3 to 4 times a week. I started out with running 3-4 miles 3 times a week. As time progressed, of course, I increased it incrementally. Next week I'll run 4-5 miles a day, totaling of, I don't know, probably 12-13 miles a week. Key right here is consistency. I have to run at least 3 times a week because your muscles need to get used to it. Your hips need to get used to it. Your feet need to get used to it. Your heart, especially your heart, your cardiovascular system needs to get used to it. So I recommend at least 3 times a week, starting out, I don't know, 30-40 minutes, and then work your way up to an hour, hour 20, hour and a half as you get closer to the marathon. Yeah, towards the end, I started running about 20, 25 miles per week. I think I topped off once at 28 miles when I ran about 7 miles twice, 9 miles was the most I ever ran. But yeah, very important to stay consistent with your training. Next, gear. Running, you don't need that much, of course. Highly recommend buying and investing in some good running shoes. I had some Nike Free ones. They were fine at the beginning, but once you start getting those long miles in, they provide no support at all, and it's gonna get you tired. It's gonna get your feet tired, and you're gonna notice it. So I can show you what kind of shoes I bought. Let's see here. So I bought some shoes with some pretty good arch supports. Some New Balance, you can see, 860s. So you can see how much support they have. They're very comfortable. Sure, they were a little pricey, $120, but consider this. How much is a gym membership a year? $300? These shoes will probably last me a good half a year. So if running is your main outlet of exercise, invest in some good running shoes. Your feet will thank you. Your knees will thank you. So I recommend going to a running store. And some of these running stores have kind of like a apparatus where you put your feet on, and they check to see what your main points of impact on your feet are. So for me, was on the balls of my feet. So they recommended something with good arch support, and I tried on 3 different pairs of shoes, and these were the ones that fit the best for me. They were the best balance for comfort, for arch support, for weight. So each feet are different. Try them out and see what works best for you. But yeah, really recommend in some good running shoes. What else? Drinking water. For half marathon, I would normally train with a Camelback on my long runs. So it's a good equipment to run with, because I found running with a water bottle kind of got my hand tired after a while. So the Camelback, I hardly even feel it. You could put your wallet in there. You could put your phone in there. And I mean, for this one, I could fit 3 liters of water. So check this out. I got this on, if you can see, on Amazon. About $30. $40. Yeah, there's some sweat stains right there from the race. But it's pretty good. I liked it. It works perfectly. It's lightweight. You hardly even feel it. Highly recommend it. Who cares if you look stupid? I was the only one in the race with one, but hey, it worked out best for me. So who the hell cares what people think? Next up, let's see. Hat. Yeah, gotta have a hat. I had a very simple Ross hat, Adidas. That's what I use during my training, workouts, during the race. Kept my head cool. Kept my sweat out of my face, out of my brow. What else? Sunglasses. Sunglasses were very important. During the race, I ran a half marathon that consisted of a trail, so there was a lot of dust and debris and whatnot going on there. So I put those bad boys on, and they really made a difference for me. Also, just keeping out the sun in your eyes, because eventually your eyes will get tired. So, yeah, recommend that. Part of your training, your pace, and during the marathon as well. Your pace is very important. Key thing, it's a marathon. It's not a race. You don't need to race against the time. Okay? You're pacing yourself. No need to really push yourself, unless of course you ran a half marathon before and you're trying to beat your personal record. If it's your first time, just pace yourself. My pace was about 9.5, 950 miles. So there's really no need to go that fast, especially if it's your first time around. What else? Let's see. Oh, very important. Something I didn't realize until one of my friends told me, who's ran many marathons. When you're training, try to find an asphalt route. Concrete is a lot more harder than asphalt, and down the line it will take a toll on your knees. I took his advice and I saw the difference. So if you could find any other route besides concrete, that would be great down the long run. Your knees will thank you. Another tip reminder, and something to consider. This is a great self-challenge that will test your determination, your discipline, and your will. In my 3 months, I had to make adjustments. I went on vacation. There was family emergencies. I was under, I don't know, maybe under like anxiety, or I simply didn't want to run. There's those days that come, you're like, God damn it, man, I just don't want to run. But you do it anyways. You snap out of it. You start a little stretch, you start moving around, you get your blood going, you put your shoes on, and before you know it, you're out the door and you're running. Things will change. Times will be tough. What is important is that you stay committed, and that you run, and that you go through it. It'll all be worth it. Trust me. So, of course, you need to take some time. Take a day off. Take 2 days off. I'd advise you not to take more than 5 days off, because anything more than that will have an effect on your endurance. So, yeah, if you need to take some time off, take it. It's all right. Last tip. Tip number 7. Measuring your distance that you're going to run. Google has, on Google Maps, you could chart out your route. Put a pinpoint wherever it is that you want to run, and then start the route. It will give you a pretty good approximation how many miles that route is. So if you're trying to look for a route, trying to figure out how many miles that stretch of road is, just put a pinpoint on Google and it'll give you a pretty good idea of how many miles it is. Or, because Google sometimes it's you put a route, you put a pinpoint somewhere, and it gives you, not the route that you would want to run, but that it's recommending you to take for the sake of time. So another thing is that you could put the tracking on Google Maps and just run. Once your run is completed, go back to your phone, open up Google Maps, and check your timeline. Give you a good, pretty okay approximation of how many miles you ran, and that'll give you a good idea of what that distance is. So say if you want to take some curves or want to go into some weird routes that Google Maps wouldn't take you to, it'll give you a pretty good idea. So yeah, those are my 7 tips. Feel free to comment below. And one thing I forgot, stretching. I didn't really stretch before races. What I did was more knee warm-ups. I would do squats, I would do single-legged squats, I would do calf raises, but no stretches before race. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend warming up your knees instead, warming up your quads. And I found that was pretty helpful for me. I have kind of a weird right knee that sometimes I think I might have a problem, and I thought my knee pain would worsen throughout training and after the race, but it actually didn't. It was pretty good. And I think it was because I was doing those knee warm-ups. So yeah, I recommend doing that. So yeah, comment below. Talk to you soon.